Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to go over another pre-preliminary moves in the field virtual test video. This video can help you prepare for your own virtual test or your own tests in general, because you'll see how these tests are marked by a judge and get a better idea of what they're actually looking for, so that you can understand what it takes to pass the test. If you're new to US figure skating testing, skaters typically begin their testing with the moves in the field. Moves tests are considered a prerequisite or baseline test series. There are 5 disciplines in which skaters can test. Moves in the field is a progression of basic skating skills. They're not the same as the evaluations that happen in group Learn to Skate USA classes. In Learn to Skate, the coaches or sometimes the skating director evaluates the skaters. What we need to see is that you've mastered the individual elements. At the end of your group skating class, you'll receive a report card with your evaluation. The formal US figure skating testing structure is actually much different from this. Instead of your coach or the skating director evaluating you, you'll be performing the moves in front of official US figure skating judges. These judges will be marking your test against the standards and expectations that have been established. I realize this test structure can be confusing, especially if you're new to it, but it's one of the most critical aspects of figure skating. I have other videos that discuss the testing structure. There's a very good one that is an introduction to taking your first test. I also go into intense dives in 2 videos with my skater Peyton. In those videos, I explain every move and the standards and expectations in painstaking detail. I'm not going to go into that in this video. Specific levels are designated for adults age 21 and older. Still, adults may choose to test at the standard levels. I have several videos that are just on the adult moves in the field. One of them is an intense dive with my skater Monica, taking her bronze moves in the field test. There's a link to that and all my moves videos in the description down below. The test structure is the national standard by which you are measured through your entire skating journey. Testing is a simple check. It's where you demonstrate your complete understanding of train skills and prove that you're ready to move to the next level. Each test level has several set patterns of turns, edges, spirals, and steps that become increasingly difficult as you advance. Free skating and pair tests require skaters to perform a skating program, including jumps and spins and step sequences. But moves in the field do not include jumps and spins. If you want to test a specific level for free skating or pairs, you must first pass the corresponding moves in the field test. This means that to take a discipline-specific test, such as free skating or pairs, you must first pass the equivalent moves in the field test. Figure skating in the US can be either competitive or recreational. You may choose either route. In the US, competitive skaters are required to participate in the testing structure in order to compete in qualifying competitions. But recreational skaters can also test to continually challenge themselves and their abilities. In fact, even if you never actually take the tests, learning the moves can help you improve your skating. I often even use these moves with my hockey skaters. If you are or intend to compete, the level you enter in competitions is determined by your highest free skate level passed. Sometimes freestyle sessions at rinks are divided according to the skater's test level too. If you register for a camp or a clinic, skaters are often separated by test level. Moves help you learn skills and turns necessary to be successful in any discipline of figure skating. Focusing on accuracy, posture, carriage, bilateral movement, strength, power, extension, edge quality, continuous flow, quickness, and turn execution. It's just not possible to become a high-level skater in any area or discipline of skating without first mastering the skills from the moves in the field. Trying to do that would be like attempting to read without first understanding the alphabet. The patterns for each level can be found in the US Figure Skating Rulebook, along with the diagram of what they look like on the ice, and specific focuses for each pattern. The moves in the field test progress from pre-preliminary, preliminary, pre-juvenile, juvenile, intermediate, novice, junior, and senior. Advancement through the various levels of moves in the field requires many hours of instruction, practice, and disciplined concentration. It takes a lot of time and effort to prepare for a test. Skaters usually need anywhere between 3 and 12 months to prepare for each test level. It takes skaters on average 6 years to pass their senior moves in the field test and 8 years to pass the senior freestyle test from the time that they take their pre-preliminary tests. Senior is the 8th test in the standard track of moves and free skating. It's not uncommon for skaters that only skate 1 or 2 times a week to take much longer to pass their senior tests, or any of the moves test for that matter. The timeline may vary from skater to skater, but every test passed is an accomplishment and something to be celebrated. Earning a gold test is something that every skater can accomplish. This is something that you should strive for. It's a wonderful goal that is also achievable and realistic for you. You have the potential to become a US figure skating gold medalist, or even a double or triple gold medalist with perseverance, dedication, and many years of hard work. When you earn the title US Figure Skating Gold Medalist, you will receive a pin from US Figure Skating, and you can purchase a gold medalist jacket. Most importantly, you may add the accomplishment to your skating resume, college application, scholarship application, or even a job application. In a typical year, approximately 30,000 US figure skating tests are passed. About 1,000 of these tests are senior tests in moves in the field. Here's a fun fact that you might not know. Everyone involved in running a test session is a volunteer. That's right, they're all volunteers. And this includes the judges. They're volunteering their time because of their love of the sport. It takes a lot of people to run a test session, even virtual test sessions. And every one of them is unpaid. Many are parents or other family members of skaters. And some are even adult skaters who are giving back to the sport. Everyone working at a test wants you to succeed. They're doing all they can do to make it a positive experience for you. Okay, so let's get to the test. Your goal is to demonstrate that you have mastered the elements while skating the correct pattern in the specified order. When you and your coach have determined that you're ready to take your test, you will have to be a full member, either through your local club or direct with US Figure Skating. You cannot use your Learn to Skate USA membership to take official US Figure Skating tests. I have a whole video about US Figure Skating membership. There's a link to it in the description down below. Once you are a full US Figure Skating member, you and your coach will have to find a test session. Now, this has become a little bit easier recently because more and more clubs are offering virtual testing. Virtual testing is one of the most positive rule changes that US Figure Skating has made, and I applaud them for doing this. By the way, I have an entire video all about the rule changes for the 2021-22 season. And there's a link to that in the description down below as well. Virtual testing provides more flexibility for skaters to test on their own schedule. It can also really help those of us that suffer from test anxiety too. Not all coaches agree, so be sure to check with your own coach if you think a virtual test may be the best option for you. This skater and her parents chose to take her test virtually because it was a better fit for their work and school schedules. Virtual tests are subject to the very same protocols defined in the requirements. You must have met the prerequisites for the test by the date that the test was skated. Each test must be executed in one continuous videotaped session. without stopping the video. The skater may stop between moves briefly, but for no more than 10 seconds. The person taking the video must keep the camera rolling. The person taking the video should stand at center ice near the boards on the judge's side, with the camera higher up than the dasher boards, and capture all the corners of the rink. The skater should be framed head to toe in the center of the screen. You follow the skater during the performance. They must be clearly identifiable and free from other skaters interfering. No more than 8 skaters may be on the ice. When we filmed this test, there were 5 skaters on the ice and 2 coaches, including the skater and myself. All the other skaters were pretty high level. I give this skater a lot of credit for going out on what was essentially an elite level session as the youngest skater. Many skaters would have been intimidated, but not this skater. I want to thank all the other skaters that were on this session. Avia, Amanda, Antonio, Gwyneth, as well as Coach Ashley, for cooperating and being courteous to this skater by not playing their music and doing their best to stay out of her way. When filming a virtual test, stick to the 8 skater limit because, as you're gonna see, it can be difficult to film a virtual test with even just 5 skaters on the ice. Restarts and reskates are not permitted for virtual moves tests. Background music is also not permitted. All other test rules remain intact. You must also submit a performance affidavit stating that the video is in its original format and has not been altered in any way. Any video that is found to have been edited or modified from its original format will invalidate the test. If you're looking to take a test virtually, I have some other tips in my adult bronze video about how to film it and what equipment to use. Like I said earlier, there's a link to that in the description down below. For this test, I shot it with a Sony ZV-E10, and that has in-camera stability and shoots in 4K. Now, you don't have to shoot in 4K. I like to give the judges as high quality as possible. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the test. The purpose of the pre-preliminary moves in the field is to encourage beginning skaters to learn the fundamentals of ice skating. No great deal of technical ability, carriage, or flow is expected. The candidate must show knowledge of the steps, fairly good edges, and some evidence of good form. Kindly keep in mind that this video and all the test videos that I post to this channel are posted with the approval of the skater and their parents. The parents agree to this because of the educational value of posting these videos. So I ask that you keep the purpose of the test in mind and not leave any negative comments. I will briefly go over the skater's test and point out what she did well and any areas for improvement. However, I'm not taking as deep of a dive on this one as I have in other videos. I have a bunch of those with my skater Peyton and Monica. You can find those in the description down below. And I almost forgot to mention that I've developed some moves in the field worksheets to help you become more personally involved and invested in your own skating skill development. Just go to my website, skatewithamy.com. You'll find them under figure skating testing. You can use them with your coach to review your progress. There's also a direct link to it in the description down below. The pre-preliminary moves worksheets are entirely free, so go over to my website and download them. Okay, now I think I've gotten everything out of the way. Let's get into the test. This skater is 8 years old and she's been skating for a little more than 2 years. She usually takes one 30-minute lesson each week and she practices 1 or 2 times a week. Let's start with her first move, forward perimeter stroking. The focus for this move is power and extension. see what the judge said. Power and extension were both checked off, and he checked off counterclockwise and clockwise. He did make a comment about stiff knees. I can see that because the skater does have good knee bend going into each push. She rises up in the knee a little earlier than she probably should. So that would make the knees appear stiff. The next move, basic consecutive edges. The focus for this move is on edge quality. The judge checked off the focus and forward outside, forward inside, backward outside, and backward inside. He noted one non-consecutive on the forward inside, and that was when Antonia was passing through. She did correct it quickly though. That's what we call an oops moment. That's not really a technical term. That's what the judges are encouraged to filter out, are oops moments, so that they can determine if something is a serious error. He noted that the backward inside was weak, but overall felt that her edges met the standard. The next move is forward, right, and left foot spirals. The focus here is on extension. The judge checked off extension as the focus, and right and left. I was expecting a comment about her form, but the judge didn't make one. So that's really nice. The next move is the Waltz 8. The focus here is on edge quality. The judge didn't check off anything here, but he did write that she had a 2-foot turn on the first circle. I must have overlooked that. Did you see that? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. The judge circled past and wrote, good form, carriage. Do not toe push for power. I agree with his remarks, and I'm thrilled that the skater passed her first test. She worked very hard and is very proud of herself. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I cannot tell you how much it means to a young skater to pass this test. It can take them months to prepare, and sometimes that process is a little frustrating. But when they pass their pre-preliminary, they often get more confidence and focus. They'll experience less frustration when something doesn't come to them as easily as they'd like it to. It shows them that all the hard work and effort is worth it and encourages them to continue learning new and different skills. I will post the skater's entire test next. But first, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone else it could help. And just post it on your social media too. I post videos every week that can help you with your skating, nutrition, fitness, and live a better life. So if you like that kind of content, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell so that you never miss a video. Also remember that I have other moves in the field tests, including the deep dives that I take into Peyton's pre-preliminary and preliminary, as well as Monica's adult bronze moves test. And I have those moves in the field checklist. There's a link to all that in the description down below. Okay, here is the complete test.
Hello, my name is, and I'm going to show you my pre-preliminary moves on the field. Thank you.
This is Amy. Thank you for watching. Happy skating. I will see you real soon. Bye.